just like weeping. It was nuts. It was awesome.
So what about it? Tell me like one nugget. What was awesome about it, Dylan?
Well, so one of the most powerful things that he said, which hit me, and for the parents out there, is he said that the number one form of child regret is being raised by a parent who is not chasing their dreams and living up to their full potential. Like, that was heavy, man. Like, it's not abusing them, it's not treating them badly. It's like when they grow up watching you not be happy and not chase your dreams and your goals. I mean, that's huge, man. So that was super powerful for me.
I think it's even more powerful as you get older and you get to switch the shoes, right? Now you're sitting in that role as a parent, and now you see that role you're playing powerful. Like, I think as you represent, I mean, your kids obviously see an amazing leader, Dylan. You freaking rock it, brother. I look at my life as a child and realize that very important factor was missing in my life. My dad was a 2x4 at best. And, so the best I could have got for him was a splinter. And so the reality is that it was so powerful. That's super powerful, but like, I don't have that drive. So thanks for sharing that. Did you cry, Bo?
Dude, I was close. I actually have tear ducts, I guess. Dylan doesn't. I don't know how he kept it in. The one thing I'll add to that was one of my top ones as well, Dylan. I thought he said child abuse. Like, the number one form of child abuse is not living out to your potential. But no, I mean, the thing that I also wrote down, I'd say is ranked up there as top 3 things he said is, he's like, it's hard to emulate or reproduce what he did, but he was talking about being the one making the decision where your family tree changes with you. And the thing he said is like, he's like, I will be the one that absorbs the poison and doesn't pass it on to my kids. And everything in my family tree will stop today with me. And he's like, when my great grandkids look at the portrait on the wall, oh, who is that? That was the guy that changed everyone's life forever in our family tree. And like, he just kept going on. I can't do his energy, man. It was amazing, but it was, dude, it impacted a lot just being in that presence.
I love that.
The term was transitional individual. I wrote that down.
Yeah.
The person that changes the lineage in one generation.
Yeah, that doctor had the quote. I got to look that up. I've never got a chance to. He was reading it off way too fast. But I'll have it quote before the meeting's over.
You're talking about Ed Milet, Ronnie, from Shareholder Summit. He was on stage. You know what? Funny, Bo, in his book right now, The Power of One More, he uses the analogy of the Matrix and how Keanu Reeves was the one. And the one is the one that in your lineage, in your family tree or whatever, that makes that stopping point, that makes the draw the line in the sand of, you're not going to allow this to continue on in your life. So that's cool to be the one, right?
Absolutely.
Blue pill. Which pill are you taking?
And also,
another example.
Oh, sorry.
Go ahead, Bo.
Just off the one thing, just to think about it, like, you are. I've lost my train of thought, but you're the one that changes everything for everybody. And that was what I was gonna say. So we often are comparing ourselves to everybody else, right? That's part of the problem, is we're always looking outside at everyone else, but you're not changing their lives. If they're ahead of you, who cares? Like, nothing about their family tree is ever going to really intersect with yours for the most part in life, but you can change everybody's life that you have responsibility over. And like, if you just focus inward on yourself and be that one to everybody in your family tree, it's life changing. That's a life worth living. That's a legacy.
Amazing. I love it. Thank you for sharing that, Bo. What were you going to add on to that, Dylan? Is something else?
Yeah, the other kind of example of the one that he used was, and this is good for all of us to remember, right? And how powerful we can impact other people's lives is, he talked about, he used his son as an example, but and it was a super long story, like a 15-minute long story. But the short story is, like, his son liked to play golf. He was kind of goofy. Like, he would always take him to these events, and he would always come in last place. But it was okay because they were just there to have fun. And the son wasn't really driven. And then one day, some other dad talked shit to him, and he's grabbed his son. He's like, we're gonna win this thing. And they were down like 11 strokes or something like that. And his son's like, what? Like, he's like, you can win. You're good enough. You're gonna win this thing. And then he kind of walks through the whole story. And the kid ends up winning after for 3 years coming in last place and never winning. He finally told his kid, like, you can do this. You're gonna win. And then at that point forward, he won like 75 tournaments in a row. Ended up becoming a collegiate, going on a collegiate golf scholarship. And it made him realize, like, we all have greatness in us, but sometimes somebody has to tell us, right? And somebody has to believe in us and be the one guy that is that person that tells people around you, like, you are great, because it's in them, but they just don't know it and they haven't realized it yet, right? And that was a super powerful thing about, his son could have gone on forever just being a crappy golfer, but it was a complete mindset shift, right? When dad believed in him and dad said, you're going to win, you can do this. And it made a difference. So
the funniest part of that was he was such a good actor too, of telling his story. But he gets down on his like low to like he's looking at his kid, and he reaches down and he goes, "We're gonna win, son," because this other douchebag guy like something bad to his son. He's like, "We're gonna win this," and his son goes, "But Dad, I thought that you said fun. It's all just about having fun." He goes, "No, winning is more fun than having fun." And then like he tells the whole story, and then like his kid wins, and he goes up to his dad. He's like, "Dad, you were right. Winning is more fun than having fun." Hilarious, dude. It was cracking everybody up. He had it down pat. I mean, I agree, one of the best speakers I've seen in person.
I love it. No, it's super powerful. I appreciate that, you guys. Thanks for sharing. I think it's important to have those people in your life that see the value in you that you don't see in yourself. A lot of times we go into that life, right? We're down on ourselves, self-doubt. That extra person that runs into your life and helps drag out your shining light bulb. It's pretty amazing. So thanks. Jen Ramoli, you got something you want to say?
Yeah, just this topic. I think it's crazy too that sometimes some of those people are your own kids, and that's for me, that's happened in my life. I mean, my parents, I bought a second home because I'm with my mom. I had to wait till she got out of the car to say this, but they haven't ever put themselves in the position in life to be able to buy a house. So now they're renting my other house. And I was having a really bad day the other day, and my kids, they're 14 and 12, and they're like, "Mom, like, you're taking care of your family, and I'm a single mom. They're like, you work your butt off to take care of us, and now you're taking care of your own mom and dad." And they're talking me up, and they're 12 and 14. And I think we forget that those little people watch so closely. And, it just was really powerful to hear my 12-year-old like parenting me, but it also made me proud of myself. So
that's awesome. You're right. You're doing something right, because they're seeing it. Kids watch, they don't listen. They watch everything you do. And you're obviously emulating some amazing qualities for them to see that. So they say out of the mouths of babes, things come out, right? That they're so not jaded with life, and they have not been penetrated with what we have as adults. So what they're saying is really authentic and true. So good for you, Jen. Appreciate that. Thank you.
Chris, if we have 30 seconds, I have the quote. This is inspiring enough. I think it's worth it. So he quoted this Dr. Broderick, and the one is the quote, and it reads, "A transitional character is one who in a single generation changes the entire course of a lineage. The changes might be for good or ill, but the most noteworthy examples are those individuals who grow up in an abusive, emotionally destructive environment, who somehow find a way to metabolize the poison and refuse to pass it on to their children. They break the mold. They refute the observation that abused children become abusive parents, that children of alcoholics become alcoholic adults, that the sins of the fathers are visited upon the heads of the children to the third and fourth generation. Their contribution to humanity is to filter the destructiveness out of their own lineage so that the generations downstream will have the supportive foundation upon which to build productive lives." Imagine like Jack Hulk saying that like to the max. That's kind of how it was in the presentation.
That's awesome.
It was empowering.
That's awesome. Thanks for sharing that. That's awesome. Thanks for sharing those nuggets, you guys, from shareholders in that experience, because I think we all need to hear that. I appreciate that. And I think it's all valuable for everybody on this call, no matter what. I feel a lot of people, I have some personal friends that are going through a lot of stuff right now. I think it's important for us to understand these things, remember it. So thanks for sharing that, Bo. I appreciate it. Awesome. So anything else you want to share? Anybody want to share a good nugget before we move on? Anything good, new, exciting? No? All right. Then everything is tapped out. Awesome. We're going to move forward to our speaker today. So we had another cancellation, and then I reached out to Jordan, and amazingly enough, she moved some things around to come and speak today. Jordan, actually, if you don't remember Jordan, he used to be with corporate EXP, work in the office, doing a lot of the growth stuff with Sam Rodriguez and Chris Stewart, those guys, and she was a rock star over there. Now she stepped out of that April 2022, I think you said, April. And she's been on a run, built a team now. She's got an Icon 21 plus agents now, growing. I think she was ranked between all of the teams in the EXP, like number 600 and something, right?
Yeah, and it's not that impressive out of all the teams in Oregon, and there's 105 teams in Oregon. So, but
awesome.
it will be an all EXP. Don't
There
get
we
me wrong.
go. All right. Manifesting it fast, future pacing.
Heck
But
yeah.
she's built an amazing team in a year and a half. Want to thank you again for blessing your opportunity to be here, just sharing your story and kind of what you're doing to plug into your team. And you do I watch you on social media, doing a lot of great things. You're coaching, you're doing some systems. So without further ado, Jordan, thank you again for taking time out today. Appreciate it. And it's your stage.
Awesome. Yes, thank you so much. I'm really excited to be here. I remember a few of you from when I was on corporate staff, specifically Shireen, Dylan, and you, Chris, and maybe a few more. I don't know. You probably don't know who I am, but I knew you and I was watching you. But yeah, so I became EXP corporate staff when there was 11,000 agents in 2018. And I for sure thought it was a scam. The person that recommended the onboarding position to me. Oh, by the way, before I forget, my service hates Google Meets. So if I exit out, I'll be right back in.
You know, that's too. Shireen have like a few of us get that happen. I don't know what it is, but
yeah.
Figure it out.
Yep. So yeah. So anyway, so I was like, this is a scam. The website was barely built. I was asking, the person that referred me, I was like, are you actually getting paychecks from this? And they're like, yes, I'm actually getting paychecks. And I'm like, okay. So I spent 4 years on staff, and yes, I worked my way up really hard. And I ended up being the executive assistant for Sam Rodriguez and Chris Bear. They ended up leaving. So then I worked with Sean Murphy and Amy Weaver, and eventually was the executive assistant of Dave Kennord. And so it was such a fun, I believe in this company so much. I will never leave. The leadership here is when I interviewed to be with Chris Bear, he looked at me through Zoom and he's like, I'm going to make you a better leader than I ever have been. And I'm like, who? Like, he believes in me more than my parents do. Like, what is going on? And I felt for the first time that I could actually be something. I could actually do something. I'm no longer just the dropout, the one that just kind of failed all the time, the one that, nobody really noticed. I realized I was being poured into, and I was like, I can actually do something, and then I can pour into others. And so that's what I did. So all credit to kind of the main influencers as well as the leadership at EXP, and changed my life. So I was born and raised EXP, and I'm never going anywhere else. But I got licensed in right before COVID hit. And so got my license, and one thing led to another. And my husband got licensed, and then we brought on a buyer's agent. And then we just kind of created a team here in Oregon. And I ended up quitting my corporate job because now I had 2 full-time jobs, and with 4 kids.
Shoot. It happened, I think. Darn it. She might have froze on us, that Google Meetup thing. I got to figure out why that does that. I think I lost her. She can't probably come back on. There we go.
I knew that would happen.
Oh, I got to figure out I got to fix that. I don't know why that does that. I got to figure out.
No, it's actually me. I always have to do Zooms because it's me for sure. What did I last say?
You quit your corporate job. 2 full-time jobs.
Yes. So being a mom and wife is more important to me. We have 4 kids. So that just wasn't working. And so I was stepped down. It was really, really sad. But also I didn't need the money anymore because I could make my salary, in about 7 deals. And so then I started the team, and it has been essentially I'm doing what I was doing on corporate. I was supporting whatever executive I was working under, but also anyone on the growth team, including influencers who are the ones building the company. And, there's just a small percentage of EXP agents that actually do bring other agents to the company. Most just are in production, buying and selling. which is awesome. But there's about 7,000 EXP agents that bring others to the company, and they believe in EXP and they love EXP and it's changed their life. So so they're the ones spreading the word and bringing people in. And so I supported them and was able to create tools and processes and training classes and documents for them. And I loved that. I loved that more than you know, just showing a home. And so now I can do that with my team, Hilltop Property Group. And so, and yes, I misunderstood you earlier. Out of almost 5,000 EXP teams, we are 613, but we got to go up a number 16 in my state. Anyways, so we, now I can create things to support the agents on my team. And I also do bring agents from all over the nation to EXP as well. But I'm able to build whatever I want. There's so much freedom here. And I'm not, you know, that each state has a broker team that it's an entire team. And they're the ones that are legally responsible for all of the other agents in the state, which means if you form a team with EXP, you're not sitting there reviewing everyone's contracts all day. You're just doing the fun stuff that you want to do. And you let the EXP's broker team handle that part. And like, that's crazy. And so, so I'm able to do events, special events, training, helping my agents, creating things for them. And yeah, it's just been a wild ride and I love it so much. And I'm really curious though, for you on this call, like, maybe in the chat, just put like how long you've been licensed and then also like your big 2023 goal. I just kind of want to see who's on this call so I can kind of know what to talk about. How long you've been licensed?
Let's see. Geez, I don't even know how long ago that was.
What was that?
I'm trying to figure out years. So
I don't see any chats. I'm just curious, like on this call, you know, our 15 years. Awesome. Oh my gosh, you have some awesome. Okay, cool. Yeah, a whole mix. Yeah. And I would definitely love, so Jennifer's goal is to cap by August. Yeah, what are your splits with team members? Okay, yeah. So, and keep in mind, I've been licensed 3 years. What is USP? I'm learning stuff every day, so I don't know what that means. Awesome, FLQA, unique. Oh yeah. Okay, sorry. Okay, great. So my splits with team members are actually really, really low, and I'll tell you why. Because having a production team in Oregon is essentially a really great tool, like a vehicle for me to be able to do other agent attraction in Oregon, but all through the nation. So it is essentially a vehicle to be able to go out and bring people on, because I have team leader experience and they can see that I can pour into them and they can see the systems that I have. So so I take very low splits because essentially my bills are getting paid and my salary is getting paid by EXP, not any agent. So I don't really rely on the team member deals to get my bills paid. And so so that's just how I do it. That's not how everyone do it. I'm looking at a long-term vision instead of just right now. So so I take low splits. If they're new, I start them at 35%. And they have a half cap on my team. So if you hit a certain production level, EXP lets you form what's called a standard team, where all your team members have $8,000 caps with EXP. So that's one really great value prop that EXP allows me to offer my team members. Awesome. Yeah. So lots of capping goals. Yeah. So that's how it is. My value prop for our team members is we pay for a transaction coordinator. We pay for some basic marketing materials. They, if they want anything on top of that, they're responsible, but signs, lock boxes, but special business cards, that sort of thing. We do, essentially what I do is all of the training. So obviously EXP gives agents as much. So all of you, the EXP gives you everything you need to operate as a successful full capping agent. They give you everything you need. So my team is an added layer on top of that. And I offer them almost like more than enough training that they would ever want. Like, in-person face-to-face is really important to myself and others. So I have, essentially it's a lender here in town. He's like, use my offices, conference rooms, anything you want, anytime. So I've posted up in his office. I'm not paying a dime. And we do trainings, we do new agent boot camp, we do sorry, my dog. We do masterminds, we do accountability calls, and most of those are completely optional. The agents can come to them if they want, and I just offer more than enough. And so lots of in-person stuff, trainings, that sort of thing. I have developed a client appreciation program. So essentially when they close a deal, they just throw their client into my program. And then I have several staff members. So then they take it from there. And so they keep their clients like literally face to face in front of them through quarterly events and other things that we send out. So they don't have to worry about it. Like they don't have to send out the Starbucks card at Christmas time. Like those relationships are cultivated and they don't even need to do anything. We have like team building activities. We're going golfing in a few weeks. So all of that. And we do crazy like photo shoots where we dress up as superheroes or rock stars, or, we just have a lot of fun with it. We're not serious at all. We like to go out and just make people laugh. We have crazy, pictures of when clients are, closing at the title company. Like my husband likes to pick them up like a baby. We don't want it to be the normal thing, and we're growing very, very quickly. We've added like 10 team members in the last few months. And the nice thing is there's systems in place that's very scalable, and everyone keeps that. They're very supported. They're more than supported by us. So it's been fun. So we have a sales prop that's very different than anyone else, with lower splits than anyone else.
You've had this team out obviously just for a year and a half, which is not very long in retrospect of most people teams. And so you're learning some of the bumps and bruises and challenges and issues, and you're growing though exponentially. You say you brought on 10 people in the last couple of months.
Yeah.
Are you using this as a recruiting model to recruit to your FLQA type thing, as well as to build a team, or what's that ultimately?
Yeah. Yep, both. So I make sure some really good advice I got from, I think it was Tiffany Turrentine or some influencer here when I was staff. I heard her say this and I never forgot it. And now I do this with everything I do. Is she said, anything you do, whether it's an event you plan or whether it's a meeting you have, or no matter what it is, always have it check several boxes, have it accomplish several things. And so that's what I do with the team. So when yesterday we had our Monday mastermind, many of my team members were there. We learned, we did lots of role play, listing presentations. We got in there and learned a lot together. But I leave it open to whoever wants to show up. And so I had someone come in that is thinking of joining EXP, and he came and he joined and he participated and he loved it. And we have a follow-up meeting. And so why not? I don't view other agents as competition. In fact, I like to stir up trouble around here when I say to other agents and other brokerages that pouring into and giving your real estate secrets to other local agents actually increases your production instead of create competition. And their brains don't work that way. They're not used to it. And I live it out, and I like to show them that, and my whole team does. And people love that, and they want to come be a part of it. And so, but yeah, anything I do, it's always to educate or build up my team, my production team, but it's always checking boxes on agents that aren't with EXP that are realizing like, I want to know what this is all about because there's something special about it. And I just include them right in. My husband always says, be an includer, not a recruiter. And so I don't try to recruit them. They'll, whatever, but I include them on everything. And they realize like, dang, like they're giving me more support than where I'm at currently. Like, and so that's kind of how I do both at the same time.
Gotcha. And so ultimately though, when you left that role as corporate in 2022 and you got your real estate license in COVID, was this the plan? Like your goal was to build a team? Like
No, it was not at all. Like I just thought I'd be an agent. And I was like, I love corporate role. Like everyone is amazing. So I just kind of assumed I'd just do kind of part-time on the side. It was because I didn't believe in myself and I had never felt believed in by somebody else. And they did that. The leadership, they showed me that they believed in me for whatever project they were giving me, and I was successful at them. And that was just like a life changer, not just a game changer, but it changed my life. And so when it was time, it was it was really hard day. Kind of like Dylan, I don't cry. I didn't even cry 10 years ago when I got a divorce, but I cried when I left corporate because, and so I was very sad. It was like breaking up with somebody that I loved is kind of how it felt. But it was, I feel so blessed that I'm able to still be a part of EXP from the agent side. But yeah, no, I just was realizing I have too much to do. And, I was learning about leverage for the first time in my life. So that's when we brought on another agent to leverage for when I was busy working my corporate staff. And then we built Hilltop out to 5 agents by the time I left corporate a little over a year ago.
Gotcha.
So
yeah, the truth is it's not impossible. Obviously, I think it requires a self of belief in what you've and now you've gained a whole nother level of confidence, I think, moving forward since being that level of corporate. Right. Infused confidence in you. Now you've rolled that into your business. And now I think you're becoming an attractor with your energy of what you do. And tell us a little about some of the systems you're doing then. So obviously you had to create these systems from scratch because you didn't have that. What were some of the first things you ran through with systems that you built? Maybe kind of give everybody an idea of what that looked like, the next step, like stepping stone, that system to build out where you're today.
Well, just like with anything, and you look for what's missing for people, you find the holes in it. A few people on this call are, hoping and planning and to cap. And so you just have to figure out how to close that distance. So I look at, the agents that I was starting to bring on, like what are their pain points? What are their struggles? The one thing I can't change is that they have to want it more than I want it for them, which is still really hard for me because, I happen to be one way and I just assume everyone's that way and they're just not. So you have to want it more than, whoever is teaching you wants it for you. But anyway, so I was just looking for what they needed. And so a lot of those things were training and mentorship because I'm a new agent. So all these new agents are coming to me. Now it's starting to be more experienced agents. But so creating the client appreciation program, I read a book called Perk Your Sphere is where it was inspired by. I don't follow it to the letter anymore. But that's what it was inspired by instead of dumping your money into like Zillow or dumping my money into like paid ads, which we still run sometimes. But instead of all my money trying to go to like paid leads, we dump our money into our past sphere and the people that are basically our sphere and our past clients. That's where we dump our money into because when we get leads from them, it's like unless they're not approved, it's like 100% conversion rate. It's like very high. So why would we not spend all our money on that versus something that has like a 2% conversion rate. So we do things very differently than everyone else. I've been told by other team leaders that our team would fail And so the one that told me that last year has dissolved our team and they're all on my team now. I did not do that. That's just was on accident. That was their choice. But just not being afraid of doing things differently and messing up and kind of redoing it. But yeah, so what I did is I hired people that do things better than myself, which I have to get over myself to admit that. But I hired an events coordinator. So she plans all of the team meetings, the internal stuff, team meetings. She plans the team building activities and also our new agent boot camp every month and a few other things. So I give her that. I tell her the objective, the end goal, and I'm like, I don't care how you do it, just deliver that. And so so she does that. And I hired a relationship, but he's essentially like a sales manager, but he also cultivates relationships with the agents because I am not good with that either. I am very cut and dry, and I'm very data. I'll look at data and instead of maybe something human behind that data. And so he handles all of that. And so, and a few other people. So actually one of the most important things was putting the right people in the right seats and doing the things that I'm not good at or don't enjoy.
Oh shoot, lost her again, I think. Dun, 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 dun. You should play the Jeopardy music chime here in between releasing her. All right, there you go. Oh, you're muted.
Thank you.
Sorry.
Sorry about that, you guys.
No,
I'm not loving it. Anyways, so just putting the right people in the right seats and letting them develop those processes. The first one is my events coordinator, but not just like any old event. She actually plans pretty much everything, including our internal team stuff. So like new agent boot camp, she runs our, she doesn't run the team meeting, but she preps everything for our monthly team meeting. And she gets it all ready for me and lunch order and all that. And also like our team building activities and some other things. And so she is events coordinator, but it includes team meetings and internal team stuff because we want to keep the agents like happy and engaged. So she does that. I tell her the objective and I don't give a crap what she does to get to the objective. I just want the result the same. And then, our relationship manager, I don't know if I cut out before that.
No, you didn't. You didn't really talk about the relationship manager.
I didn't?
No, just
Okay.
So,
yeah. So the most important thing to me, really more the step one before creating all the systems and processes was to put people in the right place to leverage what I'm not good at or what I don't like to do. And so I put Alex, and he's like I'm figuring out a title, but he essentially has been doing relationship management with the agents for this year, because I really, it's hard for me to really, I look at data and I look at numbers and I can forget sometimes to think of there's a human behind those numbers and maybe to see what's going on with them and like the human connection part of it. Just because I am intense and I'm a driver. And so he is the one actually that does consistent check-ins with them just to slow it down and see how they're doing and really connect with them. And then from there, then I can take it from there and do a check-in and be a little more empathetic or whatever. And so he does that because I'm not good at that. And so he's doing that. And Erica's planning the events. And, I have a VA that does all my data entry or spreadsheets, she does that, and so finding the people to take the weight of things that I'm not good at off my shoulders allows me to breathe, have great work-life balance. And then I can create, the client appreciation program. I can create, the latest one I did is onboarding. So create an entire onboarding system. I hired someone that used to do onboarding at EXP. And there was a big layoff by, many people that were doing a great job, but that's just life and that's business and there's nothing wrong with that. But she went through a layoff. And so I hired her to do my onboarding.
Mhm.
And so we developed a system, and she knows exactly when to hand them off to the mentor, our internal Hilltop mentor program, which is another thing that we made, another value add. She knows when to hand them off to there. She knows how to get their marketing materials ordered, so it's all the different like pieces to the puzzle. And I do offer her onboarding services to anyone if they're not on Hilltop Property Group, but they're coming in my revenue share organization. She does onboarding for that piece as well. And so, so that really, that's a system that's really important, because when you're starting off your first couple months, like if you don't know exactly, what all the EXP tools do, and if you don't connect and plug into your team or whoever is your sponsor, that's such an important time, and it can be so overwhelming. And so I hired her just for that, to walk through it with them and also pull me in when I'm needed too, because it's my responsibility ultimately. So yeah, EXP has so many tools. Like without being on a team, they have so many things. And I was really lucky to be able to experience those and sometimes help create those when I was on staff. So I know them very well. And so getting to be able to show the agents that and let's, like, they're independent contractors, like, build this business the way you want. I'm not going to cook. We're not a cookie cutter team. Everyone's different, very different. And I love that about them. And so they build their own businesses. I just want to give them the tools and then let them run with it.
Nice. So
Yeah.
maybe real quickly, can you do a brisk kind of quick overview? Like you said, EXP has all these tools. Maybe a lot of people on calls don't even know what tools those even are. I might not even know, but maybe kind of share a brief idea, like some of the things that are available that maybe could be important to these people.
Yeah. Well, I mean, is everyone here on Workplace every day?
Yeah, I am. I go on there all the time.
If you're on this call and you're not on Workplace, literally, like, I check it. Okay, I'm crazy. I check it like literally every hour, but for sure every day, because there's like 7 referral networks on there that I get. I don't take a lot of, clients anymore. I give them to the team, but I've gotten referrals from there. And literally while we're on this call, one of my Oregon team members, it has an interview from one of those referral groups. She just, got it right now. And so there's going to be business coming in from Workplace directly from agent referral. So that's huge. And then, so if someone tags you in it, you'll never see it if you're not on Workplace. And then, but on Workplace is like anything you need. If you have a question about, oh my gosh, so if you have a question like about like a contract, a few of you have not been licensed very long. And so if you are like reading a clause or something, there's a form and you're like, I have questions about this, and don't worry about it. Like we all do, just go into your broker room and they'll like sit down with you and help you. And I know sometimes states go through changes. So if it's not that way right now, EXP is working hard to fix that. But for sure in my state, I just go in and I'm like, hey, I don't know what form and I don't even know how to word this crazy thing. And they'll sit me down and help me work through it. Like, that's super. And that's crazy. Like, you don't, and you don't need to call you. I mean, you can call your sponsor. They're there for you, but there's already systems in place that you can get like great help right away. There are affiliated programs that you can join. So go get certified with like America's Preferred Home Warranty, because you get a check back every time your clients use them, and they're a really great company. You can get certified with, there's one, they just changed names and I can't remember it, but you essentially get certified and then your clients can have a concierge that actually moves all of their like utilities and cable and TV and what stuff like that they need, home, like an alarm system. They just move them from that company over to here, from this home over to here, and does it for them. And also you get money from that too. You get, and you can cash it out once it gets $100. But that's a value add for your clients. Like, hey, I can get a concierge to just move everything over for you. And the way they get paid is from those companies, not from the client or us. So there's just like whatever you feel like you need in your business, like EXP for sure has something for you. You know, there's revenues that you can get certified, and then you'll get leads in from that. Some of my team members already have. And it's a little higher split. It's more like Op City or whatever, but that's incoming business right there. And then, you know, so so those are some of them. There's a million. I could go on forever, but whatever you need in your business, like for sure there's a way to have that met just by EXP alone. Like you're paying $85 a month, like use that, like use them to their max capacity.
Nice. So what, couple things then for you, obviously you asked everybody kind of what their goals were. What's your goals for Hilltop this year? Obviously you're growing, again, brought 10 people on recently. Where are you at for you guys for 2023 building, and what are you putting into, obviously are you affected by this market like everybody else was? Do you see a decline in your business? Do you see a decline in the agency of your team? What are you doing to prevent that, work around it kind of thing? Scenario? What do you have for that?
That was like something I didn't expect. So I credit my husband, Mike, for this. He's very into, you know, Ed Milet, Grant Cardone, like all of the mindset stuff. And so when the market changed, I was like, okay, time to scale back, common sense, you know, scale back, save some money. And Mike said, no, he goes, we're going to grow now. We're going to hit it hard. Everyone else is scaling back. We're going to hit it hard. And I was like, well, that seems really counterintuitive and does not come naturally to most human beings. And so I was like, but I trusted him because he's grown a lot for himself in the last year. And I'm like, okay, you know what? I trust you. Let's do it. So we started adding agents. We started adding events. We started adding the boot camp. We started pouring into them more than ever before. And they are producing more than ever before from this, just the last like 60 days. And agents are flocking now. They are coming to our boot camp and wanting to join. We are turning them away, some of them away. And like that freaking worked. I was like, what is going on? That does not seem like, but that is what those guys teach. They say when there's a recession, time to hit it hard. When something changes and everyone else is scared, that take advantage of that and grow. And so that was what we did. And we just stay positive and we look for education and we think outside the box, and it's really, really working and it's fun.
That's awesome. No, I actually was having a conversation this morning with one of my buddies who's in the mortgage business, and he said the very same thing. He's like, I'm doubling down and I'm going for, I'm blowing up because a lot of other companies are laying off and a lot of these other loan originators are going and leaving and having to go find new places. And so we're scaling up. So, you know, you be the buffalo, you run through the storm, the buffalo, right?
Right.
Who runs their direction. So you're going to get it. I love it.
Yeah.
Awesome. So you're going to grow. Where's your capitalist? The team, obviously, you're going to become an icon. So you guys, now, you guys should be an icon team, or is you?
Yeah, mega icon. Yeah. So, like 80% of them are literally brand new agents. So the fact that they're now starting to crank things out, I'm so proud of them. But yeah, so our goal is to hit mega icon at the end of this year. If they all did one deal a month, we would get there a lot sooner. So we're getting them there. We are going to have to end it with a few that are not willing to put in the work, and we're not, you know, so 1 a month is not that hard. I want them iconing. I want them doing, like, you know, shooting for the moon. So that's just one of those things I'm learning as a new team leader. You know, I'm learning that, but we are projected to hit mega icon by the end of this year, and then they'll all have $4,000 caps. So that's a nice little bonus in their, you know, in their pockets. And then my goal personally for bringing agents to EXP, which is a huge passion of mine, is having 25 that I've brought on directly. And I would love, if you don't know what FLQA is on this call, I want 20 of them FLQA, which means they are, you know, bringing it. It's very low, doing a couple deals a year, but I want them capping. I want everybody capping and making all of the money. Like, it's such a win-win for them, for us, and for EXP. I love win-win situations. So, but yeah, that's my goal.
100%. Love it. 20 FLQAs will lock level 5. Mine's 25 FLQAs. I got to get level 6 by the end of the year. For me, that's my thing. Right? That's got to be it. End of this year, I have to have that to move to my next goal in 2024, which I'm manifesting in the universe. I am moving to Hawaii next year, y'all. I'll be there with y'all in Hawaii. So I am officially moving out of this town. Anywho, Jordan, and this is a great takeaway, by the way. I just want to let everybody know this call. and this is nothing against you. I don't nothing personal. Just the fact is that you have a limited small window that you've really jumped into this real estate sector as an agent. And now you've managed to build this, and we'll be completely honest, it's like trial and error, and you guys have this determination to make it work, which I love that. To you and your husband, you got a determination to make it work, and there's no like, we're not going to do this. You're doing it. And I'm sure there's been some falling down and getting back up in this year and a half. So I just want everybody to realize that it can be done by anybody. Like anybody can do this. You can be productive and build your team and grow massively. It is a great, Ronnie point, great, amazing accomplishment. I think this is a power of understanding one, yourself, your husband as a team, but EXP, not saying you couldn't do it anywhere else, but EXP has been a great like capital to this thing for you and your business. So I'm excited for you to share your story with us. I appreciate you coming on board today and jumping on this and doing that, because this is an amazing story. I love it. And to see your accomplishments has been amazing too. And it infuses inspiration in me, because I'm like, yeah, like this could be done. Like I say, if I can do it, anybody can do it too, right? And I'm sure you say the same thing, because like your conversation with yourself, like you said, was very low of belief. And corporate side of EXP really built that into you to be more about yourself. And so it's been amazing to see you build that from that. So I guess moral of the story, everybody, get some belief system back in yourself. You can do this. Anybody can do this. You got to have get away with the self-doubt, no more self-doubt. Awesome. Anybody got any questions for Jordan before we got about 5 more minutes here? I mean, ask her anything you want. This is, again, an opportunity. If you don't get a chance here, you're going to see her at EXP convention. Are you going to Build, Jordan? Are you going to be in Texas at Build in July?
I won't, but I will be at EXPCon, of course.
Okay.
But
awesome.
I need to get to Build one of these years.
Right. Hey, and then but we'll see. Like again, get a chance to meet these people on these calls, but you get to meet them in person at the EXP convention, the shareholders thing, kind of like that. Get around them. Go have lunch. She'd be more than happy to sit and have lunch, grab a coffee with you, share some more of her ideas, and just kind of share some of that energy. So awesome. Well, again, Jordan, thanks for jumping in on a short notice, changing your appointments from today to make it happen. I appreciate that.
Of course, thank you.
I applaud you and your accomplishments, and I give you the best to do for hopefully moving forward and getting to your 20 by the end of this year. I'm at 25, so you're at 20. We're gonna hold each other.
We'll check in with each other.
I'm gonna see where you're at. EXPCon October. I'm gonna see where you at, Jordan, because
all right, sounds
like
good.
right there for us to see by the end of the year, right? Awesome. Hey, everybody. Thank you for joining the call as usual. I hope this is of value to you guys again, as usual. Don't forget Thursday, EXP Explained every Thursday, 8 a.m., 11 a.m., and 2 p.m. If you guys want to learn more about the model or just bring some guests, I will do the heavy lifting for you all to do the model of Explained. So that being said, I love you all. I appreciate you all so much. There's her Instagram. Jump on Jordan, follow her here on Jordan Hill. And I hope you guys have an amazing week. Go out and crush it and be the best version of yourself. All right, you guys? I love you guys, man. Have a great week. Thank you again. Appreciate you, Jordan. You guys have a great day.
Thank you.
Thank you.